Hello everyone and welcome back to Kanji Oboima show. Today we'll be doing kanjis from 141 to 150. So let's look at the first kanji for today. Number 141. And this is how it looks. Okay. The meaning for this is the present, the said, this or that, hit, the mark, correspond to, and a lot. Okay, let's have a look at the on and kunyomi. The kunyomi again are very much related to each other. They're very similar sounding, so it shouldn't be too difficult to remember. You have ataru, atari, ateru, and ate. And the onyomi is to. In case you're wondering, doing the mnemonic for this kanji is kind of difficult, which is why I'm skipping it. And we will be moving straight to the words. Okay, the first word for us is okay. This will be read as tojitsu, which means the appointed day. Or that day. Okay, in case you're wondering how this is used, so if you're talking about a very particular day and it has already been mentioned once somewhere that you're talking about a very particular day and you want to refer back to that same day without having to repeat it, you write tojitsu. So for example, you're talking about your friend's birthday. You're saying that your friend's birthday is 2nd of July, let's say, and you've already introduced 2nd of July somewhere in the conversation or in the email or whatever. Then if you want to refer back to this, you can refer to it by saying tojitsu, and it will be understood that this is the day that you're talking about. Okay, let's have a look at the next word. Okay, this is read as honto no, which means true, real, genuine. Okay, honto being true or real, you also have honto ni, which means truly, really, that kind of situation, that kind of meaning. All right, let's have a look at the next word. This is one of the kunyomis. It is ataru, which is hit the mark. Okay, let's have a look at the next word. Okay, so we saw a reversal of the kanjis that we saw in the first word. So at first it was tojitsu. This time we are going to call it hiatari. A hint was there in how I wrote atari. Instead of just writing the kanji, I also wrote the subsequent kanas ta and ri. which is where we get the hint that we have to use the kunyomi readings of this particular set of kanjis. Okay, so here let's try and come up with the meaning. The first is of course sun, and ataru means to be hit. So here to hit. So hi atari means to be hit by the sun or exposure to the sun, right? Hi atari. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, that is the next word, and this is, okay, I apologize for that. Okay, ichi, nichi, atari, sen, en. Ichi, nichi, atari, sen. Okay, this means 1000 yen a day. Okay, so you're basically saying that it costs about 1000 yen for a day, whatever it may be that you're referring to. All right, now let's have a look at the next kanji. This is number 142, and this is how it looks. Okay, that's what it looks like. Now let's try and see the mnemonic for this. So for those of us who remember this kanji, I hope it's everyone who remembers this kanji by now. So this kanji for man, we looked at this, and at the time we had two ways of interpreting this. One was of course field, because that is the kanji for field. The other was to refer to it as a giant head, right? The head of a man followed by some feet or legs. So here let's just retain the meaning of head. Okay, I'll just rewrite that. Okay, so here we'll think of it as a head, and at the bottom we already know that it is the kanji for heart or mind, right? So something between the heart and the mind. So you can think of it as, okay, let me just write it down. Between the heart and mind. Okay, so between the heart and mind we can find a range of things such as thoughts, feelings, and wishes. Okay, and in this case this kanji means to think, to feel, or to wish. That's what that means. Okay, now we'll quickly have a look at the onin kunyomi for this. The kunyomi is omou, and the onyomi is shi. Okay, quite simple. So here let's have a look at some words. This will be read as shian suru, which means to consider, right? You're thinking or feeling an idea out, so you're considering, or simply you're thinking. All right, or to reflect, right? To reflect. And let's have a look at the next word. This is simply the kunyomi for this. This is omou, omou again, which is to think, to feel, or to wish. Okay, okay, let's have a look at the next word. Okay, this is omoitsuku, omoitsuku. So here let's try and come up with the meaning. Omoi, to think, to feel, or to wish, and tsuku is to get attached. So something that you have come up with, thought of, or to hit upon, right? To hit upon, okay, or to think of. Okay, that's what that means. Now let's have a look at the next kanji. Okay, this is omoi kiru, omoi kiru, okay, which means to resign oneself, to resign oneself, to give up, okay, to resolve, or to determine. Okay, an interesting bit of extra information here. This is a grammar pattern where you can add some verb here and then you can add kiru. Okay, it usually means that you've done something. Okay, if I have to write it in English, it is like to do whatever it is, and this is a very decisive kind of action. How do you spell decisive again? D-E-C-I-S-I-V-E, right? Decisive action. Okay, that is why the meaning of omoi kiru comes up as to resolve or to determine. When you're saying that you have resolved something, or you have resigned yourself to something, or that you have determined something, it's a very decisive kind of action, right? So here I currently find myself at a loss for an appropriate English phrase, but I'm pretty sure you guys are capable enough of coming up with phrases like that. Feel free to enter it in the comments if you can think of something. All right, so this is a grammar pattern. You can add several other words in place of this this quiggle mark. You can pretty much do a lot of, make a lot of combinations with this kind of grammar pattern. Okay, so let's move on to the next. So this is the last word. Okay, this will be read as omoide, omoide, which means recollections or memory, recollections or memory. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next kanji. This is number 143. This is what it looks like. Okay, let's try and see what is the meaning. I hope you remember from when we did this kanji, we took the upper part. To mean a plant. And this lower stroke, which I have made a little bit thick right now, this lower stroke was supposed to be the ground, that is the ground level basically. So let us try and continue the same way of understanding, that is to say this upper plus sign is basically a plant. So here you're able to see a plant, and when you look at it you can also see the sun rising right there in the background, right? Very similar to the kind of meaning we had for east, where we saw a tree and the sun shining between the trees. Now you're talking about a plant and the sun, you can see the sun right at around the level of the plant, right? So the meaning here is early, and the second meaning is quick. Okay, it's early or it's quick. You can think of both these meanings. You can associate both these meanings fairly easily, even though the mnemonic itself is more easily associated with early. All right, let's have a look at the onen kunyomi now. It has a bunch of kunyomi, but they're all very similar, similar sounding. So let's start looking at them. The first is hayai. Then you have haya. Then you have prefix haya. Then you have haya maru. And then you have haya meru. All right. Let's quickly have a look at the onyomis. The onyomi is so or sa. Sa. Okay. So let's quickly look at some words for this. Okay, I am not sure any of you can guess it, but this is Ohio. Ohio. Okay, Ohio means good morning. Right? And this is an informal kind of good morning. You don't just say Ohio if you're at your workplace or if you're at school and you're trying to wish your teachers. All right, but in any case, Ohio means good morning. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Let me just rewrite that. Right, this is hayadachi. Hayadachi, which means early morning departure. Okay, early morning departure. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, this is hayameni. Hayameni, which means a little early or with time to spare. Okay, with time to spare. Hayameni. Let's have a look at the next one. This should be one of the easiest words out there. Okay, this is hayakuchi, fast mouth, which means someone is talking really fast or fast talking. Okay, Now let's have a look at the next one, the last one for this kanji. Okay. This has two ways of reading. So the first is so. You can also read it as haya. Okay, so or haya, which means quickly, or you can say without delay. Okay, or you can say early. Right? The same kanji is repeating, so it's basically repeating the same idea or concept or sentiment over again. Okay, let's have a look at the next kanji. This is number 144, right? And this is how that looks. Okay, let's try and look at the mnemonic. So I hope it's easy for you guys to associate this with the meaning of early, right? Now just think about this along with these two strokes, where you're saying that there are plants and you can see the sun, but at the same time you can see some blades of grass, right? Blades of grass sticking up above a plant early in the morning. Okay, the meaning is grass. Okay, let's have a look at the onen kunyomi now. This is kusa, or it can be kusa prefix, or it can be gusa suffix. Okay, and the onyomi is again very conveniently so. I hope you can see that there are parts to the first kanji that we did, number 143, and this one, number 144, that are similar, and you can understand that part as being your hint for how it has to be pronounced. So that is the phonetic hint for you. All right. Interestingly, there is another bit of information. So back when we did the radical video, I hope you remember I mentioned that radicals that come on top are called kanmuri. Interestingly, this kanmuri, for this particular kanji, this part is called kusa kanmuri. So it's easy to remember that way as well, that you're referring to something that has to do with grass. Okay, that's just one bit of a side note. It's not really important, but in any case. Okay, let's quickly move on to some words. Right? Okay, it's not very pretty. Okay. Okay. This will be read as dokuso, which means poisonous plant. Okay, poisonous plant. Let's have a look at the next word. Okay, this is somoku, You can also read it as kusaki. Kusaki. You know, trees and grass basically, or trees and plants, or vegetation basically. Okay, vegetation. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is so. A hint, my handwriting is like this, which is to say cursive. Okay, cursive writing is called so. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, this is so un. Let me just rewrite the n. Okay, so on. This means a rough draft. Okay, let's have a look at the last word for this kanji. Okay, this is kusabana, or you can also read it as soka. Okay, so you're talking about a plant and a flower, which means a flowering plant. Okay, now let's quickly move on to the next kanji. This is number 145, and this is how that kanji looks. Okay, let's try and see how this kanji can be worked out. So again, we know that there is this, which is early, right? We know that there is, you can look at this, you can see the sun between a bunch of plants, because there is another plus. We can say that there is a bunch of plants and you can see the sun in between them. But at the same time, you can also see the moon, which is to say you can see the sun out between a couple of plants while the moon is still visible in the sky. At what time is this possible? It's possible during the morning. So the meaning for this kanji is morning, and the secondary meaning for this is dynasty. I'm with you if you're thinking, how the hell am I supposed to remember dynasty? Because I don't think you can. It's not easy. You just have to cram that stuff into your head. Alright, let's quickly move on to the on and kunyomi. Very simple kunyomi. It's just asa. And the onyomi is cho. Okay, let's have a look at some words. Okay, it's not very pretty, but still. So this is socho. Okay, because there is an u at the end of the cho as well. It is socho, and socho means early and morning, right? Pretty clear, no confusions there. Early morning. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, this is Asahi. Asahi, which means the rising sun or morning sun. Okay, you can also refer to the morning sunlight with Asahi. Alright, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, this is Mai Asa, which is every morning. Okay, very simple, Mai Asa. And let's have a look at the next one. This is Asahayaku. Right? Again, this is very similar to the first word that we did. It is just that the kanjis have been reversed, their placement has been reversed, and instead of using their own yumis, you're going to use their kunyomis. So, Socho is early morning, Asahayaku is early in the morning. Not a lot of difference. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, Ocho. All right, so this is dynasty because you're talking about emperor, and then you have the kanji for dynasty, so it means dynasty, or it means imperial regime. All right, let's move to the next kanji. This is number 146. Okay, it's kind of a big kanji. Okay, let me rewrite that because it looks like too many kanjis in one. So only a mild improvement on the previous thing that I wrote. Anyway, so you know that you're talking about water, right? And you're talking about morning. Okay, so think of it as the morning tide. All right, the morning tide. The meaning is also, interestingly, the morning tide. Yay, what a coincidence, for once a kanji that actually means what it says, right? Okay, let's have a look at the on and kunyomi. The kunyomi is shio, and the onyomi is again cho. Lucky us, right? So let's have a look at some words now. Okay, This is shiomizu. Shiomizu, which means sea water. Sea water. Okay. Let's have a look at the next word. Okay, this is going to be read as shio-iri. Shio-iri, which means the coming in of the tide. Okay, the coming in of the tide. All right. Moving on to the next kanji. This is number 146. Oops, 147. I'm sorry. This is how that kanji looks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right. Now, I hope you're familiar with something about Japan that looks like so. It's almost always red. It's very rare for it to be any other color. Okay, I hope this is something people have seen, right? These things, just think of it as a just think of the first 4 strokes as this. These are called torii. Okay, so just think of that as a torii, and here let's say these 3 strokes are someone trying to give shape to this torii. All right, it's not a very well drawn torii, so I think it makes sense. So here, shaping. The torii. All right, you can think about that as a meaning. So the meaning here is, of course, shape. I don't know why I wrote P. Okay, shape or material form. Material form. All right. Let's have a look at the on and kunyomi now. So you have kata. You have gata. And you of course have katachi. Katachi. And the onyomi for this is kei or gyo. Kei or gyo. Now let's have a look at some words. Okay. First word. Okay. This is taikei. Taikei. Body shape or form or figure. Taikei. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay. This is ningyo. Ningyo, which means a doll. I don't know why I wrote doll. Okay, doll. Okay, human form basically. Right? Now let's have a look at the next word. Okay, this is keisei suru, keisei suru, or form, make up, mold. Okay, you have form and then become, which means to form, make up, or mold. All right, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, this is katachi dake, katachi dake, which means merely for appearance. Merely for appearance. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. This is hanagata, hanagata, which means a floral pattern, a floral pattern, or something that is leading, or something that is popular. Okay, floral pattern, leading, or popular, hanagata. Okay, let's have a look at the next one, number 148. This is how that looks. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now again, let's try and have a look at the mnemonic for this. So here I hope we can still associate the torii image, right? The torii image. Now here, the first set of strokes that we have, you can think of them as something opening up, right? Something opening up, giving way to the torii, right? So here, the meaning that we have, it's again a little bit difficult to associate, but the meaning here is start, generate, emit, issue, open up, or develop. Okay, so you can think about it as the torii starts from here, right? The torii starts from here. You have something open up, giving rise to the torii, or you can say that the strokes on top are emitting or issuing the torii. All right, those kinds of meanings. Not very easy to associate. I wouldn't exactly advise people to memorize this. In any case, the kunyomi is very simple. It is tatsu, and the onyomi, which is more commonly encountered, is either hatsu or hotsu. Okay, hatsu or hotsu. Now let's have a look at some words. Okay, so this is hatsumei, hatsumei. So you have started or generated and made clear, right? So you have invented or invention in this case, invention or contrivance. Contrivance. All right, let's have a look at the next one. Oops. This is simply tatsu, which means to start, usually on a journey, or to depart, All right, let's have a look at the next one. Oops, I apologize. This is hasuru, which means to emit or radiate. Okay. This is hakkō suru, which means to publish or to issue. Issue. And the last word for this kanji, this is hakken, which means discovery or revelation. Okay, now let's have a look at the next one. This is number 149. Okay, so let's see. Okay, it's exactly the same as the previous kanji, barring the first 3 strokes. All right, so let's try and remember how that goes. So we already know that this part, okay, stands for something that has been emitted or issued or developed. Okay, something emitted, issued or developed. And we know that this part, we usually refer to things like this as roof. So let us also consider this stroke that we have in this kanji as a roof, only that it has a slanted end on one side. Okay, so a slanted roof. So you're talking about a discovery, or you're talking about something that you have emitted, something that you have developed, something you have issued, started, generated, but then you've put it inside a roof. So you've put it away somewhere. Okay, so what you have done is basically you have abandoned something, or you have abolished something, or it is a waste. Okay, that's what that means. Let's have a look at the onen kunyomi. So this is sutareru, or it is hai. Okay, now let's have a look at some words for this. Okay, this is haishisuru. Haishisuru, which means to abandon or abolish. Okay, abandon, abolish, and stop. So basically, abandon or abolish. All right, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, this is haian, which means a rejected bill or proposal, right? You abandoned it basically, so it was rejected. Okay, let's have a look at the next. Okay, this is zenpai. Okay, zenpai, which means total abolition. Total abolition. Okay, now let's have a look at the kunyomi for this. Okay, sutareru, which means to fall into disuse. Yeah, to fall into disuse. Okay, let's have a look at one more word. Okay, so this is haigasu, which means waste gas. Okay, let's have a look at the last kanji for today, which is number 150, and this is what that looks like. Okay, let's try and memorize this. Okay, so you can think about it as, well, you already know that the first kanji, the one at the top, means stand, and the second one is sun, right? So you can think about it like this: a man standing on top of the sun. Okay, there are two meanings that are associated with this, or rather there are two concepts that are associated with this basic shape. The first is, of course, its own meaning, and that is what we are going to look at now. The first meaning is there's a man standing on top of the sun, but because the sun is so hot, his feet are burning and he's screaming out loud. Okay, so basically it is sound. The first meaning is sound. The second meaning that is associated with this shape when it comes in other kanjis is darkness. Okay, darkness or just dark. Okay, and here you can think about it as, let's say, someone who's trying to stand on the sun and trying to push it down so that it never rises, uh, leaving the darkness of the night intact. Okay. The meaning is, of course, in this case, sound. This case it is sound. And the on and kunyomi for this. So you have oto, or you have ne, or you have on and in. Okay. So let's have a look at some words. Okay. Hatsuon. Hatsuon, the sound you emit when you speak words, that is to say pronunciation. Pronunciation. Okay. Let's have a look at the next word. Okay. This is honne, or one's real intention. One's real intention. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay. Okay. This has two ways of being pronounced. The first is, boin, or you have bone. Okay, which means vowel. All right, vowel. Let's have a look at the next word. Okay, this is she in, or again she on. She in or she on, which means consonant. Consonant. Okay, and let's have a look at the last word. This is ashi oto, which means the sound of footsteps. The sound of footsteps. Okay, so this covers the 10 kanjis we had lined up for this session. We will look at the similarities of some of the kanjis that we have done in the next session, when we have a few more items to compare and see. Okay, so in the meantime, thanks for watching and see you.